Now, your local weather with the KX Storm Team.
Well, if you've been bored with the weather of the past couple of weeks, we're going to make up for it in a big way this weekend. A lot to get to, so I'll jump right into it. Here is a look at the weather alerts for the whole region right now. We got a high wind watch for these counties in mustard, and this also extends into these counties that are in blue. But we also have a winter storm watch for most or all counties east of the Missouri River. Both of these go into effect tomorrow afternoon and last through about the lunch hour on Monday. This other color out to the west, that's a high wind warning for our counties in Montana. I expect that high wind watch to be upgraded to a warning sometime early tomorrow. Temperatures right now are all over the place. We had some cloud cover to the west, which is holding temperatures in check. Meanwhile, to the east, where it's clearer, it's allowing that little bit of heat to radiate back into the atmosphere. So temperatures have fallen off a cliff, mostly into the single digits, except Rolla. You're the cool spot in a big way. 18 below zero right now. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. Some of that snow for our system that's coming tomorrow already making its way through the area, more scattered in nature. All of this will fill in as we go through the overnight and morning hours tomorrow. We'll talk about that in precision cast here. You can see there's that system by 2 a.m. I think everybody's dealing with the snow at first. The exception is far to the west near the Montana line where it's already warm. Those places may start out with a mix of sleet and freezing rain, and then more rain approaches the area with that mix. And the main issue with the computer models is where this initial rain, snow, rain, freezing rain, sleet mix line ends up. I think the Minot area will remain all snow, but it's the Bismarck area that's the main question. How far east does this slug of warmer air in the upper levels make it to change that snowfall over to a mix or plain rain? I think we'll have a several-hour period tomorrow in the Bismarck area, probably between 2 and 4 or 2 and 5 of just plain rain before everything transitions back to snow as the system moves by to the south. And then by the time you wake up Monday morning, it should be out of our hair. In terms of accumulation, a huge gradient between who sees little, if any, snow to who sees plowable snow. You can see that Bismarck and Minot right on the edges. If we zoom in on the Bismarck area, eastern sections have a better chance to see the higher accumulations than western sections. If you're in Mandan tomorrow, there's a chance you may not see little, if anything. But the difference between New Salem and Steele is only 70 miles, so any wiggle in the track make a huge difference in our snowfall totals. The same applies for Minot, although not as much. It could be the difference between 8 inches and 4 inches of snow as opposed to a trace of snow and 3 or 4 inches. After the system passes by, winds are going to turn around in a big way. This red and purple colors are wind gusts to 50, if not 60 miles an hour, and that will be the theme tomorrow evening. I'm worried about some scattered power outages with wind gusts to 65 miles an hour. As I was checking some of the National Weather Service data, it has Minot recording a possible gust of 67 tomorrow evening, Bismarck 64. Those are tropical storm force wind gusts, folks. And then those winds will remain fierce as we go through the early part of the week, making wind chills downright dangerous. Look at some of these numbers as we go through the week. 29 below Tuesday afternoon, and it gets worse by when some of these numbers have changed slightly, but Wednesday midday around lunch, Bismarck is looking at a wind chill around 50 below zero. That is dangerous and life-threatening stuff. Your forecast tonight for Bismarck will get down to 6 before temperatures will slowly rise through the day. Probably have an inch or two of snow on the ground by the time the sun comes up. Then in the Minot area, 5 degrees with those temperatures rising to near 15 by dawn, again with a couple of inches of snow. Tomorrow we'll rebound to 35 in the Bismarck area. Probably a sloppy mix of sleet and snow in the afternoon before it changes back to all snow. And in Minot, all snow heavy at times tomorrow. I think 3 to 5 inches is a good bet for the Magic City. Here's a look at your extended forecast for the Bismarck area. You can see those wind chills Tuesday and Wednesday, outright dangerous, if not life-threatening stuff. Please limit your outdoor exposure. And in the Magic City, pretty much the same thing, bitterly cold temperatures and snow, and it looks to stay that way, Malik, all the way through next weekend.
Time to take out those extra layers.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Robert. Coming up next in sports, we've got all the action from the hardwood floor right after this.